Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Redeem Podcast. I'm your host, Gina.
Hello, yeah, we are redeemed. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Redeem Podcast. I'm your host, Gina. If this is your first time watching the Redeem Podcast, this is a Christian-based podcast where we may talk about everyday struggles and battles that one may go through in their walk. Today, I have two lovely special guests here with me, okay? This is not their first time on this channel. It's not their second. I don't know how many times, but it's not the first, of course. Go ahead and do the honors of introducing yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Danielle.
Yay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tiwaah.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We are recording at Eden Studios in Lawrenceville, Georgia. For all your media needs, you want to record a song, you want to record a podcast, photo shoot, anything you need, it will be in the description box. Just click the link below to book. All right, let's get straight into it.
Let's get into it.
The topic for today, unequally yoked. Can Christians be unequally yoked with each other? Going to talk about friends. Going to be talking about businesses. Okay? Now, when you hear the phrase unequally yoked, what is the first thing that comes to mind?
I would say someone that you don't share the same values with,
Okay.
same beliefs, same values, especially us as Christians. Someone that's not a believer.
Okay.
I would say.
Yeah, I would say someone that you're not aligned with, someone that has no type of, what's the word? I won't say connection, but yeah, I think it comes down to belief, values, same mindset as you.
Okay. Now, have you ever been in a relationship, whether romantic? We're going to go there. Straight out the gates.
Like,
No lollygagging, no beating around the bush.
I don't do romantic.
I don't do
I'm a
romantic.
Jesus girl.
I don't do romantic. It's crazy.
Okay. Well, for the people that may. Any relationship, whether it's romantic, friendship, or business. I don't know if you guys have businesses here, but
No.
I don't.
okay. Have you ever been in something, friendship, whatever, where you felt unequally yoked, and what was your experience like?
Who going first?
Okay, let me say this. I've been in a close friendship situation. All the ships. Oh Lord.
Spicy.
The Lord is taking us back.
We
are saved by the blood. Only God knows.
Messy Grace.
But yes, for sure.
Okay.
The experience, I would say I should have ran. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have ran, but it's all good. It's part of the experience. It's good to experience.
What was the question again?
Have you ever been in a relationship or friendship
Oh.
where you felt unequally yoked as a person?
Yeah.
And what was your
Yeah,
experience
I would
like?
say it's a situation.
Okay.
I would say it was a situation where, yeah, we were
This gonna shake some tables.
Tell us about it.
Shake the table. Yeah, but I mean, I feel like it's part of life's journey. You find yourself in situations where you should not be.
Yeah.
So yeah, I found myself in a situation or two, like that.
Or 3.
But we thank God for grace and
An elevation.
victory and all the things.
Now, did you guys see red flags in your situation?
Oh, sure
Come
did.
on, what?
Their hearts were speaking.
Exactly. The mind and the heart were not aligned.
It was not aligned.
At all. We're not aligned. I feel like when you're one will speak before the other.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's why we do find ourselves in those situations, because we become very blinded in those situations.
Blinded by what?
I don't want to say that other word, but I want to say it's one of the L words. I can't really think of it right now, but you know,
You can't think of it.
I can't think of the
word. Should I remind you?
But sometimes you get distracted. It's just, they're trying to take you off the course, the will of God. You know,
the word said the flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing.
But sometimes that's the hard thing too, because it's like your mind knows what you're supposed to be doing, but the flesh is weak. The flesh is weak.
I tell you, sometimes when you see that arm,
that
is okay.
She said that arm.
That's why Paul said we should die daily to our flesh.
To our flesh.
Die,
honestly,
because
just
if you don't die,
keep reading that verse. Keep saying the verse over and over.
You wake up today. What am
Keep
I
saying
dying
the
to?
verse
I am
over.
dying. What am I dying to
today?
If you keep repeating the verse over and over, we'll be okay eventually.
Now, some people say being unequally yoked only pertains to marriage, while others may say it applies to friendships. What do you guys think?
I think let's define the yoke part.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go there.
Yeah. So from my understanding of a yoke is the thing that they put on two oxen. And so in my mind, if I'm yoked with you, our heads are together. Like, we're literally
like tied together.
Together. I think if that's the case, then if things like relationships, close friendships, then it's not okay to go with someone that's not an unbeliever.
Yeah.
But if it's just a regular friend, hi, how are you? Because how else are we gonna bring people into the fold?
Yeah.
Right. There has to be some kind of friendship or relationship
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
Yeah. But if it's something that we have to I have to hold your hands. We have to hold our hands together. We have to think together. We have to. Then it's not a good idea to be yoked with a.
Okay.
Yeah, but I do, like she was saying, I do think it applies to friendships and relationships. But like she was saying, I think there are some relationships where the unequally yoked wouldn't really apply per se, because if I'm not super close to you, how can we be yoked, first of all?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Versus like I'm trying to get into a serious relationship with someone, then that's where yoke could be applied, because we're doing everything together at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, in what stage of getting to know someone or getting in a relationship would you need to realize that you guys are not equally yoked?
So in the beginning of any relationship, you have to define what kind of relationship are we trying to
Get to.
establish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now if you establish this is going to be a close friend
Not a situationship.
or courtship. Let's say
Yeah, courtship. Yeah.
Close friendships. Once that is defined, now let's go to, is this person a believer? Is this person someone that will pull me to Christ? Is this person someone that will pull me away from Christ? So once you define, where the person will place you, because we know a lot of times, even though we're not willing to heed to what we know, once you define that, then you can decide if you want to move on with, let's say, the courtship or the friendship, or you want to back out.
Yeah, that definitely needs to be established in the beginning, because once you're in it, and all your thoughts, your mind, it's gone at that point. So if you establish that in the beginning and you're very firm on what you believe, firm on what you think your relationship is supposed to look like, then it could be a little easier to decipher if the relationship will be equally yoked or unequally yoked.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like that point. I really do love it. But how do I say? Some people are two-faced. Like,
Fair.
They'll show you one side, like, oh, this is what I go for. This is what I stand for. Then you get in a relationship.
And everything is out the door.
Different.
Yeah. I think that just comes with also discernment, knowing if the relationship is actually going to benefit you or deter you. Because I think that's just something you have to work on. Discerning different situations, figuring out, okay, like, is this situation for me or not? Being in relationships or situations that people are two-faced is inevitable.
Yeah.
we literally can't run away from it, but we can also guard ourselves from dealing with it multiple times.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go back to the courtship part because that's where I feel like a lot of times we struggle. If so long as it's not marriage, I can back out.
Yeah.
Anytime. That's how I see it. Right. So if I'm in a relationship with you, and before we got in the relationship, you were praying with me, you were doing what a regular Christian would do with me, and then we get in, and because you think you've gotten me, you're not doing those things anymore. I have the right to back out. Now, the case becomes worse if you're married to that person, because then it's a covenant.
Yeah.
So I think that's where prayer comes in, is that we have to pray for every relationship that we get into, even with friendships. Is this the right place for me to be? Is this the right person for me to be with?
Okay.
I think it will save us a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Now, how would someone tell early on if like what are some red flags would help someone determine early on if this person is
you gotta look at their fruit. Like, what are they bearing? Like, literally, what are they bearing? Like, if they are the type of person that they only do church on Sunday, that's a red flag. That is a huge red flag. The type of how they handle different situations also tells like their character. Like, when we're having conversations, like certain things that they say, is that something like a child of God would say? Those are things you need to look into. If you want to be real realistic, get into the finances.
That part.
Clock it. Get into the finances. Look at every aspect of life, because I feel like sometimes we're only looking, well, I'm going to speak for women. We only look at the surface level things, like the physical. Okay, can he pray? But what does his prayer life look like? Is it maybe what level of his prayer life? Is he praying for 5 minutes, 10 minutes? Does he pray all the time? Is it only on some days? Like, obviously, there are going to be days where you're not going to be able to pray every single day or pray at 7 hours a day or whatever it is. But is it an actual lifestyle, or is it something he picks up or puts down? That's
okay.
And I want to add, maybe you guys want to agree with me. I think there's levels to yokeness, right?
Correct.
Like Danielle is saying, there's like the new Christian yoke, and then there's the matured Christian yoke.
right.
But let's say if I brought you into, let's say we're friends, initially friends, right? Then through our conversations and stuff, I brought you to Christianity. Now you're at the baby level. I'm up here.
Right.
Is it okay still for us?
I was just about to ask that.
Go in, or is it like?
I think it's case by case, and I feel like it depends on what you're willing to work on. Because for me, I don't think I have the capacity to be with someone who is at baby level.
Yeah.
That's just me per se.
Especially a man.
Especially a man, you're supposed to lead. Okay, you're supposed to lead. So I feel like I'm going to speak for myself, but for me personally, I don't think I could be with someone that is at baby level. So I would consider that an unequally yoked relationship.
Because I feel like sometimes when they talk about it, they just, place it as someone that's not a Christian and then someone that's like a Christian.
No,
but I think we need to put it in the aspects of an
of
actual people who are actually believers of Christ. When you look at it that way, then we can see at the levels of like maturity and your spiritual life of, okay, he's struggling to read his word. He's falling asleep all the time he reads. So, we're looking at that. No, it's something to take into account, because I'm sitting, or I'm talking to you about God or
and
the things that, and you want to change the topic. That's a huge red flag. Like, why can't you have an actual matured conversation about God and the things of God
and build them up?
Huh? I can, if we're both here, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
If you're at
let's say that he's a Christian.
Yes.
You guys were both born Christians. You
Yes.
guys been to church. You guys pray, whatever. But he had a season where he fell off, and in that season, he kind of forgot about God. And let's say when he met you, you helped reintroduce God to him. But when you met him, you didn't have the intention of being with him. We're just friends. And
it depends on the willingness of the person too.
Okay.
Some people are genuinely willing to grow. The thing with growth with God is that it can take months for some people. It can take years for some people.
Yeah.
It just depends on how committed they are. And so, first of all, look at your commitments. Are you committed? Like, are you consistent in your prayers? Are you consistent in the word? Are you consistent in seeking God? Then maybe because then I can foresee the future, and I can see that we would definitely get there.
Yeah.
If you're not there yet. But if it's the case where the person is not committed, the person is saying it with their words, but I don't see any actions.
That's
then,
a problem. Yeah.
Now, how do you think that tailors to friendship? Like, your friend, you're helping them with Bible studies, you help them read their word, and you see that they're drifting off. They don't have that drive. They don't actually want to get to know God more.
I think we have more grace with our friends than we do with our partners.
Because that's someone you potentially spend your
Correct.
rest of your life
Versus our friends, like, they have their own personal lives, their own situations going on. But with our friends, I feel like we do maybe need to be more, more accountable with our friends. But we really sometimes aren't 100% in that area, only because I feel like we don't want to push it on them, I guess. Maybe that's what it is. We don't want to force somebody to do that. But I feel like, especially for the friends that I see where they're supposed to be at and where they're going, I feel like I push them more a lot than the ones that are way off. Is it good or not? No, but I feel like sometimes it's easier to push the friends that have that drive more than the others. Yeah.
I think also, if you're my friend and I feel like you're not where I think you're supposed to be, or you're not growing, let's say that, I would do my best. Like, I'll come up with, oh, hey, let's do like a fast. Oh, hey, let's read this book this month, and then we'll talk about it. Now, if I'm bringing those things up and I don't see growth in you, then I wouldn't say I'll step back. I'll still be your friend, but I'm not gonna tell you like my deepest, stuff that it won't be like a deep conversation with you all the time. It's just because I don't want to such person. I don't want to have a conversation like my secrets and stuff. Not that I tell my friends my secrets, but there's certain conversations that you have with certain friends. Exactly. So you will be in the
a different category. In a different category.
I'll say that, but I'll help you get there. I'll try to help you.
Yeah.
Now, in courtship, do you think trying to hold your partner accountable would be like lowering your standards? If you feel like they're supposed to be leading you?
No.
Okay.
Well, in courtship, should they be leading you?
I feel like that aspect needs to be there.
No, you should see in the person.
Yeah.
But they're not obligated to lead you, though. So, in
I
courtship,
don't 100% agree on that. I feel like if you can't, if I'm not seeing that push, I'm gonna leave. No, because it's
okay. One thing about Danielle, she told y'all she gonna leave.
I'm gonna leave. Like,
no,
I'm
not saying you should not leave. Obviously, if you don't see the potential of the person leading you, because this is the person that you're choosing to be the father, not just your husband, but
exactly
the father of
your children. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to be very keen in your assessments. Like you have to be very focused on your assessment.
Yeah.
And my thing is, a lot of times we know it.
We know.
You know it, but it's just like, okay, let me just give it time to see. No, there's no time to waste, girl.
There's no time.
Time
is not on our side.
No time.
Months pass, a year pass, and you're still giving them time.
The
I
time,
with Danielle, if I'm thinking about dating you or going into courtship with you, and I don't see fruit. I don't see you, pushing me. I don't see you bringing up prayers. I don't see you bringing up, us talking about the word of God, us talking about, things pertaining to God and what we want to do for the kingdom. I don't think.
Now, do you give them a warning or you just leave?
Oh, what warning?
Okay. True. I see that. What warning? But I feel like realistically,
would you just get up and leave without telling them what's
like I feel like sometimes for me, I would bring it up in conversation, like, hey, like in the beginning, it looked like, da 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 da, but now it's not given that.
But don't you think that when you give warnings, the fakeness will come in? The person will try to look like they're, when they're really not.
Okay, fair, but
because someone that's not naturally it is not it.
It's not it. That's true.
You just gotta leave it up to God and your discernment to decide.
Go in your closet.
You're never really gonna know.
Yeah, you really won't 100% know until you really just pray it out. Honestly, true. But at the same time, I also try to be realistic about it too, because it's like communication is key too, but I do see why you would say, wouldn't they just flip the switch and automatically? But it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't last long. It doesn't last long, so you should be able to tell eventually. Like if he's only trying to read Genesis.
But then your heart is already in it. So now, yeah, because the more time you invest, the more you get attached to this person, and the more it gets harder to come out of it.
It's true. It's true. It's very true. But I think it also comes down to also you too. Like, what are you like? What is your because honestly, because I feel like if you don't have that vision or idea of what you think your man of God is supposed to look like, that's when it gets a little fuzzy. Yeah.
We all don't though.
We don't. And, we don't. And it's, we're a work in progress we're a work in progress with that. And I think, I haven't figured it out, so don't look at me.
Yeah.
I haven't figured it out, but I think it's, once you hit a certain point in life, I feel like once you've learned enough lessons from situations, you kind of start to piece things together. Like, I don't want this, I need this. I don't want this, I need this.
And it actually helps you in the future.
Yeah.
Because you see the red flags already. You've experienced it. Yeah. So you know that if you play with me, then you just...
Yeah, there's some
things...
things...
You might not even get a warning.
Exactly. Some things are definitely non-negotiable. Yeah, for sure.
I think one of the ways to tell if a person is very committed to God is service, right? Because where your heart is, the saying that where your money is at is where your heart is. Where your service actually is, where you spent more time at is where your heart is. Because if I'm spending time in the church, and I don't want to sound like people that always, there's that people that they're serving, but they're not really doing
serving.
But I'm talking about the people that are genuinely, their heart is with God. It comes with service. It comes with showing up for the Friday services. It comes with showing up. all of the people that don't show up. Wink.
She's speaking to some of us here.
You know yourself.
They said that you ain't gonna be my wife if you don't go to church on Friday.
Yeah, you come back. You come to church only on Easter Sunday. And
that ain't
the
it.
people that you know.
So 31st night? Question mark?
So you when you assess all of those things, then you make your decision off of that.
Yeah, you need to be praying. You need to be fasting. If my man don't fast, it's a red flag.
Wait, so can you be with someone that doesn't serve in the church?
Can you be with someone that don't serve? Are they serving anywhere?
Me personally, I can't.
Maybe they feed the homeless.
Maybe
that's what I want to know.
Maybe
because I feel like I serve a bit too much for my man not to be serving.
Okay. That's
he
valid.
Needs to serve.
That's valid.
Come on. Yeah.
But what if he does so much outside of church that he doesn't?
No, but like what?
Outside?
Okay, maybe he.
Because you can tell me work, right? But we all work. Like
let's just say he doesn't serve inside the church, but he serves elsewhere.
Like, what does that look like?
What the elsewhere is.
Looks like,
He feeds the homeless. He does charity for the homeless.
I personally want him to serve in the
Ghana
church
occasionally.
I want him to serve in the church.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
that's me.
A deal breaker.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, now have either of you ever tried to justify an unequally yoked relationship?
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So what did you learn?
Maybe he'll change. Maybe I'll make him. I'll make him pray more.
She's going
more.
back.
I'll bring up the word of God. Oh, let's read it.
Yeah, I feel like that's I did the same thing of like, okay, like maybe we can like set out a day, like on Tuesday at 6 p.m.
But I have a genuine question. Pentecostals, our way of worship is kind of different. Like, the prayer, you got to pray like 2-3 hours. And there's the other Christians that
they pray for like 2 minutes and that's
2 minutes.
And they don't even pray out loud and stuff like that.
Are you saying is that unequally yoked? No, I don't think so.
It just depends where your heart is at the end of the day.
Okay.
There's some people that can pray for 2 hours, but their heart is still not in it.
Yeah.
And there's people that pray for 2 minutes and they have that relationship with God. They have that strong, firm foundation. Now, for me, per se, I don't know if I can do it. But
yeah, I mean, I'm not me personally. I'm not really focused mentally on he has to be from my church.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think so either.
No.
But if I'm in my prayer closet and I'm praying, if I'm in my prayer closet and I'm praying for like 2 hours, I do expect him to join for just some small
Exactly.
time. I'm not saying like out the gate you have to be doing it with me like every single day, but eventually you should start to like your heart should desire to
want to
exactly.
like, come on, because how can you see me? I'm praying and you
And you're just sitting there
y'all playing your game. Are you serious? Are you okay?
She's been through something before. That's
But no, I did find myself trying to justify being in unequally yoked relationships because I had created a false identity, like a false reality of what the possibilities were versus looking at the actual reality of the situation.
And sometimes we make excuses for the person.
Correct. Too much.
It's called that.
No, literally, why are we advocating for them that much? Like, because that's why I feel like in certain because when you actually look back at yourself before then, you would have been like, I would have never went for this. Ever.
Yeah. Talking about this, I'm even thinking about people that have opened that door. God, forgive me, Jesus.
Yeah, we just find ourselves justifying, and it's crazy because us as women we do it more than men. Because they would probably like leave in an instant, or they wouldn't even do it at all. Yeah.
Now, what would you say to someone that's currently in that situation?
It depends on what is the situation like.
Yeah, in a courtship and they unequally yoked.
No,
like,
but most people don't know.
Unequally yoked is not courtship though. You know that there's difference between courtship
and this one is what situationship.
There be auntie. You know there's the worldly dating. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay,
if you're in that, baby, you're not courting.
Yeah. No. I see what you're saying. Like, okay, I see. Like dating with no intention of marriage. I'm assuming
that they're doing things that they're not supposed to be doing. There's things going on.
Yeah.
No. Yes.
Yeah.
But even if you think you're highly spiritual, you're not that spiritual.
Highly spiritual.
When it comes to the flesh.
You're weak. Yeah, in the flesh you are. Yeah, I agree.
Well, not those relationships per se, but like what we've been discussing, like you're deeply rooted in your word and you pray and you fast and the other person is not. They acted like they were for the start, but you see that they're not. What would you say to a person that's in that and they want to?
Have they recognized that they're not, or like they're not in denial?
No.
Like
they just want to.
Have they actually clocked it?
You know,
I'll say gather women.
That's what the issue, honestly, the main question, even if other people can see maybe that you're unequally yoked, but if you don't clock it, you're not going to try to even find a solution.
But then, a lot of times I feel like people know, but it's just they don't want to go through the
hurt. They
don't
want to face the reality.
They don't want to start
too.
all over again. I think that's what causes people to stay and be like, okay, let's see.
Let's settle and just work it out.
And that's even scary too.
It's very scary.
That's so scary. Oh, I'm
scared. The thing about women is that we're at an advantage, right? When it comes to marriage, you get to choose who your head is going to be.
Yeah.
So, and the bad part with us is that we're so emotional. We're emotional beings. So we go by, because sometimes these our brothers in Christ.
These are brothers in Christ.
They're not serious. They say I love you.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this one that you're with,
he's giving you all the.
By the time you wake up in the morning, hi sweetie.
Hi sweetie darling.
Sweetie darling.
I bought you a Coach bag. It's outside. Go grab it.
And you see how she leave me and go and get this one. It's like, good.
Oh God.
I wish you guys could have heard that.
No, literally. The people back there, they're not serious. But more grace. But no, honestly, but like she said, like y'all make it. I'm not gonna say like sometimes some men make it hard because the pampering aspect is not there. It's just not there.
The emotions need work.
Lock in.
A lot of work.
Lock in. It doesn't mean we don't need work ourselves.
Yeah,
that's not what I'm saying. Because also, but it would help if you guys were more,
It's just something-
affectionate, loving, aware.
Not big.
Let me just move on before I get to.
Don't go there.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning,
Did you
sweet-
sleep well? And it ends there.
That's it. What are you doing? That's it. No roses. No vim.
nothing.
Dry Valentine.
Yeah, smooth.
Oh my God. Dry Valentine.
No. Yeah. Sorry, y'all. This one is.
No, I apologize.
I think we've all experienced it.
Yeah, it's not good.
Have you ever
not good.
been the person that was pulling someone spiritually in a relationship? And how did that feel?
Define pulling.
Charlie. Oh, let's do Bible studies tonight, or let's pray tonight. Like, you're always the one that's starting it, and they're initiating it, and they're never. How did
for
that
sure.
make you feel?
Make me feel.
And not
I feel
only
like,
in relationships, friendships as well.
I feel like in my friendships wise, I feel like most of the times those have been more steady with like, okay, we want to do Bible studies, we'll do it. I feel like it's always the issue is with being with men. Unequally yoked men. Let's add that in there. Unequally yoked men. Because most of them, I don't know, like most of them have a notion of what they want. They already know what they want or want to do. Do or do not want to do. So I feel like that's when it becomes harder in that aspect, being with your partner, because they already don't want to do it. So you find yourself being, what is the word? I don't even know the word for it, but it's like, it feels like you're nagging them or forcing them to do something. And it's like, if you're not gonna do it, like, it's no point in trying anymore.
It can definitely be draining, honestly, because if I'm always the one, especially like us women, we're supposed to be led, right? So we have to nurture. As much as some women want to be like, I'm the leader. There's something about just being like laying back and letting someone
relaxing.
Relaxing. It should not be always mean, oh, uncle, let's pray. What are we praying about today? Oh,
It's not. It's actually
it's draining.
It's very
draining as well.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
come
not
on.
cute.
One of these days, be like, hello, honey. I was thinking about something.
Sweetie, we want to fast. We want to fast next week.
Exactly. Let's fast. Let's do the 14 days, the 21 days. However much or whatever capacity that you can bring to the table. Let's do it.
But it shouldn't always be the women. Yeah, I think that's where
if it's you need to be reevaluating.
Yeah, because I do feel like I'm gonna speak on the aspect of sometimes when we look at our parents, like a lot of the parents, you see the women on fire, but not the men.
Not the men.
And you don't want to repeat that same situation because that's not how it's supposed to be at all. So you don't want to find yourself doing the same thing. Yeah.
Even for me, like my vision, in my home, my dad was the praying one. Not my mom prayed as well, but my dad was like, both of them were praying. Let me just let me just in their own ways. So when I envision my life and my family, I envision a man that literally will be like my dad, that was praying over us all the time. And so if I'm in a relationship with you and I don't see that, it's kind of hard for me.
Yeah.
Because even in my friendships, like right now, one of the things that I really truly appreciate with the friendships that I have is friends that pray for me. Friends that lay their hands over me to pray for me. So if I have such friends and you're my
significant other
and you're not able to do that for me,
that's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
And it's such a good feeling having friends that genuinely, wholeheartedly care for you and they want to pray and speak a life over you, especially when you're in a season where you're down or you don't have the energy yourself to even pray. Like, it's just a reassuring feeling that, okay, if this man don't got me,
but
somebody
got me.
Yeah.
That's true. I agree.
In Corinthians, it says, "Do not be yoked together with unbelievers. For what does righteousness and wickedness have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with darkness?" Now, what do you think God is warning us about being unequally yoked in this specific verse? What do you think he's trying to protect us from?
That darkness. Because I feel like when you find yourself in situations unequally yoked situations, it's easier to be pulled in the darkness than you to pull someone into the light. It just is what it is, because like we were saying earlier, our flesh is weak. So you're going to find yourself doing the things what you're not supposed to be doing. You're going to find yourself doing whatever your friend was doing that is not of God. So I would say he's trying to warn us from falling.
Okay. And with such people, they can be very influential. Like, they have a even like we see it. I don't want to say like people that they're very loud about it. And as Christians, a lot of times we're not loud about who we are and who we stand for. And what they do is very attractive. Like, the places that they go to, the music that they listen to, all of that can be very attractive to the flesh. So if you're not strong in yourself, and if your foundation is not strong, like Danielle is saying, you get pulled over very easily versus you pulling them over to the light.
Now, do you think, when we're talking about non-believers, how would you balance showing love and grace to them while still protecting yourself from not falling into that?
Like I said before, I will be friends with you, but hi, how are you?
Hi.
Cordial.
I will definitely show love. If you need something from me, I'm there. But what we're not gonna do is me discussing my like I've already said it before. I'm not. There's certain things I'm not gonna do with you. If that makes sense. There's gonna be that distance for sure. And then have more of my the people that are yoked with me, covering me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Because I feel like we can still love on them and show them compassion and give them the same energy I would give my friend that I'm yoked with. But with them, like she was saying, I wouldn't bring situations to them knowing that they don't have a Christian background, because what they're going to give, the advice they're going to give me is not what I'm going to need, and it will deter me.
Okay. So essentially, it's okay to be friends with non-believers, but not to get too close.
It depends on the friendship. Let's not do like the close friendships, but it's okay to have, even acquaintances. That's okay.
Now, so we all have friends that are non-believers. Have you ever tried to like spread the gospel to them?
Non-believers, as in like they haven't like Christ, but they're not actually following Christ, or non-believers as in different religions?
Either or. I
actually don't have a lot of friends that are not Christian, so I don't have anything on that. On that. Okay. But versus friends with that they know Christ or know of Christ, should I say, and they're just not serious with following Christ. With those, I feel like this is maybe just me coming to terms with that I probably need to be a better friend in that aspect of making sure that they do read their word, get into their word, stuff like that. Because sometimes I think it was going back to like we have friends in different categories, and with these friends, I'm going to study my word, pray. I can talk to them all about all things God. But this other group, I feel like that's probably where I need to focus on more now, shift my gears. But so with that, I think trying to push them, trying to even introduce them in the smallest way. Like even if we have like a program at church and it's like you call them and like, hey, just come, if you want to, stuff like that. Being more intentional in that aspect, I think will help significantly.
Yeah, I definitely, I do have friends that are, but my first go-to thing is usually inviting them to church. And when I'm inviting them to church, I invite them to programs that I feel like it's more lighter, if that makes sense. Like something like Worshipers Encounter. It's a worship atmosphere. So it's easier for them to,
ease into it. I agree.
And then from there, sometimes what I would do is like, I'll share, girl, you won't believe what God did today. Just little testimonies like that. I will intentionally mention certain things to bring your mind to it, to just to say, indirectly saying that, let me tell you, if you join, if you commune with God, this is what He can do for you.
And those things actually help, because they'll think about it. They'll think about it, and then in the future they'll be like, oh, remember when you told me this, that God did this for you? And you never know what your testimony, what kind of impact it will have on
the others. That's
Christians,
very true.
Non-believers, whoever you're speaking to. Okay, so to wrap this up, if you're in courtship, I had to take a deep breath because we went through a lot. Courting with someone or being friends with someone, whatever the case is, if you feel that it's always you leading them or pushing them, then it might be a sign that you need to reevaluate.
Yeah.
Where's the exit door?
Yeah. Find it fast.
Yeah.
Find the door. Pay attention to the red flags. Stop making excuses for people, or you're just gonna waste time and end up being hurt in the long run.
Yeah.
You know,
Learn from our mistakes.
From ours and yours. Okay.
Find me elsewhere.
If you want a part 2, we might bring it to
We
you
might
guys.
have to do a part 2.
Because this was just surface level.
Very much so.
The things that we've been through.
Only God knows.
Only God.
We're doing a hotel off.
Thank God for His grace and
Yes.
His mercy.
Yeah.
And for growth. Oh, it's been a year. But we want to thank you guys so much for watching. I want to thank you guys for joining us once again for another amazing, awesome episode. Guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this with everybody in your contact list. We'll see you guys again soon. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, we are redeemed. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so. Let the redeemed of the Lord